Have you heard about NBS before, nature-based solutions? As you've chosen to watch this video, you probably did. You're most likely also aware that we are facing many great challenges in our cities when it comes to climate mitigation and adaptation. Well, the good news is NBS offers solutions to some of the most pressing ones. Bad news? For now, NBS remain rather unknown and within their niche.
Have you ever thought about connecting NBS and businesses and why businesses are actually pretty crucial for the rollout and scalability of NBS in cities? If not, this video is exactly for you. We will show you what and how you can learn from business.
But before we give you the answer, let's start at the very beginning. How can business all of a sudden be part of the solution, especially for sustainable development in urban spaces? Hasn't business been the evil? Well, up until now, the role of business in fighting climate change, contributing to sustainable development, saving the planet was, to be honest, alarmingly small if non-existent. Or in the worst case, even the contrary, by making everything even worse. So yes, you're right to have your doubts when we shout out loud that the time of business doing evil is over, because for far too long, the reality has been this.
The business of business is business. This reasoning by Milton Friedman and many other economists follows the approach that profit orientation for companies automatically entails a social function. And by simply creating as much profit as possible, they contribute to giving people a job and wages, enhancing the growth of the GDP, and also the well-being. The logic of business of usual doesn't sound so bad, right? Well, the problem is that you cannot do business on a dead planet. And this is a reality we are more and more facing with the consequence of climate change, global warming, resource scarcity, and so on and so on. Or to say it with other words, we cannot longer afford for businesses to only value profits and monetary outcomes while entirely ignoring and detaching their business performance from its real social and environmental consequences.
A first attempt of a new way of doing business was embedded in the idea of CSR, corporate social responsibility, which is also very often referred to as Business Sustainability 1.0. Here, businesses do recognize and embrace challenges and opportunities that occur from societal and environmental concerns. Yet they do not change their core business idea or procedures, but rather just do small cosmetic adjustments that in most cases actually result in a better public visibility of the company and still strongly support their profit ambitions. So economic value remains the main target in Business Sustainability 1.0 ambitions primarily result in benefits for the business itself. So not surprisingly, CSR is often referred to as greenwashing.
Business Sustainability 2.0 follows another approach by equally focusing on all three sustainability pillars: the social, the environmental, and the economic dimension. In practice, this means that businesses not only focus on shareholder value, but also add social and environmental values. Intendedly set up sustainability goals are reached via the implementation of particular programs and actions. Thus, Business Sustainability 2.0 adjusts its business activities in accordance with the principles of the bottom line approach and by minimizing its negative impacts in all three areas, which will, to be frank, reduce the negative impact, but it still doesn't get us to businesses really being a part of creating solutions we truly need, right? Well, it's time to introduce you to Business Sustainability 3.0.
Business Sustainability 3.0, in contrast to the earlier stages, no longer follows an inside-out approach, but actually outside-in. What does this mean? Well, here businesses start by looking at the external world and related social and environmental challenges first, before they even start designing and developing the actual business idea. And instead of focusing on minimizing or outbalancing negative business performance, they actually aim at creating positive impact for the greater good. And that's where and when real business sustainability is actually happening. When we tackle our greatest problems with business solutions that do embrace them with the very core of their business ideas and performances. Or to say it with the words of Peter Drucker, every single social and global issue of our day is a business opportunity in disguise.
Which brings us back to MBS and their role for the city context. It falls upon the city to change urban spaces into more resilient and sustainable spaces, especially as cities are main contributors to climate change, with consuming 78% of the world's energy, but at the same time also producing more than 60% of greenhouse gas emissions. Not surprisingly, municipalities are, as the main urban initiators, face many challenges when trying to make this happen. Why? They are often too detached from the users, so the urban citizens, and lack the knowledge about their specific needs and gains to win them over for new solutions. On top, very often they are locked into their own political day-to-day business, not allowing them to focus on long-term approaches, on innovation, radical ideas, or trying something bold out.
And that's exactly where businesses come in. So let us take a look at some great examples. Plant E, for example, was founded back in 2013, and they generate electricity with their living plant by using a patented technology, which was developed back in 2007 at the University of Wageningen. So how does it work? A plant normally produces organic material through photosynthesis. Some of the organic material is then consumed by the plant for its own growth, but the remaining part is excreted via the roots to the soil. And in the soil, that's where the bacteria comes in to break down the organic material, which is a process where electrons are released as actually a waste product. But with the technology from Plant E, these electrons can actually be used as electricity. Plant E holds a patent for the technology, and they're the only ones worldwide that can actually generate carbon negative electricity. Well, right? Doesn't get any more sustainable than this.
Lünen is the first commercial company in Austria that runs with an aquaponics system. A system combining the best from hydroponics, the growing of plants usually in a soil-free environment, and aquaculture, the growing of fish in a closed environment. And this all within a circulating system. How does that work? By utilizing natural bacteria cycles that convert fish waste into plant nutrition. There is no need to discard any water or add nor filtrate any chemical fertilizers, making it an environmentally friendly and a naturally food growing method, especially promising for the urban context.
Well, let's come back to our initial question. Why does business matter for MBS, and especially in the urban context? First things first. Businesses know the rule of the market, and they are the ones who can change them from within. They also know how to embed their business idea around true customer needs and pains, and how to create gains for them, increasing the likelihood of solution to be implemented by as many users as possible, hence also drastically increasing its potential impact. Businesses are also very often more willing to try things out during the very early stages of a product or service development, to learn from failure and from feedback, and hence designing solutions that not only have a market fit, but also a very solid business case behind it, making it independent from external funding and donors. Also, the core personality of business to be open to experiment allows businesses to, on average, operate faster than other stakeholders, something that we heavily need, especially as surpassing the 1.5-degree goal of climate warming is approaching fast, and we need to act now.
People engaging in MBS can learn from business not only how to take MBS out of the niche, but also to get the prominence it deserves. It's time that MBS are no longer part of externalized cost, but for their real value, the social, economical, and ecological value, to be put into usable and scalable concepts. How? By learning from businesses how to get the message across, how to mainstream an idea, and how to reach the right audience and target group. May it be by pitching, understanding the audience, their needs, pains, and gains, by using the right language, learning from failure, trying out new things. All these concepts are unique for businesses. They can innovate. They can be bold. So if you combine nature-based solutions and business solutions, we do not only increase the likelihood of MBS to be implemented and mainstreamed on a bigger scale than ever before, but also way faster. And we can make sure that solutions implemented in one city will also be replicable in others.